Hi, college and career success. This is your week 1 assignment video part 2. So I am going to kind of toggle back and forth here so you can kind of see some things on my end, and then I'm going to view it as a student because I do have dates set up. So under the lessons area, of course, the start here section is where you would go. All of this is in my welcome video here to give you information, but I'm going to go ahead and go into the actual lessons part. And here you can see the place for the week 1 videos. So here's the chapter 1 lecture video. So that goes over the content for chapter 1. Here is the week 1 assignment video part 1 that was uploaded recently. This covers just the discussion board assignments for this week. So I really wanted to make sure that you were comfortable with the attendance / forums that you have to do for both attendance and points for this part of the weekly assignments. Now, week 1 part 2 assignment video, this is from last summer, will be uploaded right here. So the video that I'm currently recording will be uploaded right here. So under week 1, you have your materials folder. I'm going to recommend that you go ahead and get your Title IX PowerPoint pulled up here, but then I'm also going to recommend that you go ahead and download it. If you wanted to have it downloaded, you could save it. I know I'm saying it is like something very random. That way I have it right there and I can get back into, I can just click back and get back into Brightspace here. You could also go to print and it'll open up the same way. So whatever works for you. So have that going because you can use this for one of your assignments. Now, as I continue down, I'm not going to use any other materials at this moment. I did go over like the chapter 1 slides and the chapter 1 text in the lecture video. Underneath those assignments again, now I'm going to go through, you have a Title IX assignment, a college resources digital scavenger hunt assignment, your discussion forum, which I already talked about in your other video, the intro forum and the chapter 1 forum. You have 2 chapter 1 assignments and you have a chapter 1 quiz. I know there's so much. I apologize, sort of, because I know it's tough. There's a lot going on this week, but there's a lot going on every week, only because this is just what happens with an 8-week course in the summertime. So if you wanted that all recapped, because I know we just looked at it in list form, but if you wanted it recapped, you can click back onto week 1 and it has it all in like this one little space. It's kind of nice to see, but it's also all in your calendar. It's also in your syllabus. So lots of different places, and it's going to be in your announcements. So a lot of different areas for you to be able to kind of look and make sure that you're on track. So let's go ahead and make sure you know what you're doing for this week. So I'm assuming, you've already posted in the introduction and the chapter 1 discussion forums for your weekly attendance, responded to classmates. Now, here is your Title IX training. This is, as well as the college resources digital scavenger hunt. These are both automatically graded assignments, which means that Brightspace will grade these for me. All I have to do is go into the grade book and just verify that they're done. So when you go through here, this is Title IX, you're going to click through.
This presentation is designed to help you.
And it's going to talk to you. So that's why I kind of paused it for now. But eventually, you're going to get,
what is Title
there we go,
IX?
To a series of questions. And this is where, if you wanted to have that PowerPoint up right here, this could help you. So you could just kind of toggle back and forth to be able to answer those questions. And then just make sure on the very last slide, you let it play all the way through and hit submit, and that is how you finish your Title IX. Every new student at the college has to take this assignment. So that's why this is already loaded in there and you can use that to reference it. So you need to complete that by Sunday. Very similar is your college resources digital scavenger hunt, which is kind of what it sounds like. You'll hit play.
Stark State College offers some.
This is also going to talk to you.
These resources are easy to find.
As we go through,
to a digital use a website.
There we go. It's going to start asking you questions about resources. And so this is where, I know I showed you this in previous videos, but you could go back to the Stark State homepage, info for, don't know why I jumped down there, info for current students, and then here is that list of resources. So you could go and, it talks about the testing center. So you could try to find, here's information on the testing center. So you could use that as a quick reference if you needed to kind of find out if you weren't sure where those resources were located. Again, make sure you go to the last slide, let it run, and hit submit. So those are your 2 automatically graded assignments. Let me scroll down here and let me talk about these 3 things now. And this is where I'm going to switch into view as a student so that I can put myself in the student shoes and show you how to go about this. All right, hopping back into lessons. Assignments, here we go. Chapter 1 assignment. And for all of these, it's going to kind of look, oh, do this. So you're going to click here and you're going to click go to the assignment. Here's this first assignment, Dropbox, assignment in Dropbox, colleges and expectations. So I want you to either, this is going to depend on where you are. So if you are a current high school student, because we have some CCP students taking this class during the summertime, you're going to answer these questions as you normally would because you're a high school student. Now, if you already graduated high school, I want you to either, and the directions say, either complete them from the perspective of when you were in high school or how did you go about making these decisions? Okay, so question 1, how far away do you want to live from your hometown? Will you be able to drive or will you need to fly? Like how will you or how did you make the decision to go to either Stark State or if you're CCP, if you want to go to a different college, how is distance going to play a role in that decision? Question 2, are you interested in extracurriculars? Are you going to join any clubs or organizations, or if you're CCP, a sport at whatever college you're going to go to? Those of you who are going here, you're not going to transfer, like this is kind of like your end degree, or at least for now, you can go to the current students, the info for current students, and there's a list of student clubs. You can always take a look and see like if you're interested in any of those. And if you're not interested, that's fine too. You can just say that. Question 3, what kind of size of institution are you looking for or helped you make your decision when you decided to come to Sark State? Large, small, what's the ratio look like? And then question 4, I only want you to answer this if you are not 100% sure you're coming to Sark State for your college degree, meaning you're a CCP student, or if you're a current college student and you are transferring. If you are coming here to Stark State and this is you're done after this degree, do not worry about number 4. But number 4 is asking you to create a list of top 5 institutions that you're interested in or you might transfer to before or after you come to Stark State. All right. So what I would recommend that you do is get a Word doc. You can get a Word doc and you can answer these questions. So, here we go. And I could even just like copy and paste and answer my questions right underneath. And then I can go ahead and go to File, Save As. I'm going to save it to my desktop. Chapter 1, College Expectations. Now, when I get ready to submit it, I'm just simply going to go down here, click Add a File. I have it on my computer, so I'm going to go to Upload. I'm going to find it, click on it, hit Open. I'm going to hit, like there it goes, I can tell it's there. I'm going to hit Add, and then I have to hit Submit. Don't think when you added it, you submitted it. You didn't. You have to hit Submit, and it's going to ask you one more time, are you sure? Are you really sure? And you're going to hit Yes. Now, the other thing you can do for this assignment, I don't mind if you just put your answers down here. So if you just, I'm going to go ahead and like X that out. Go ahead and put your answers right here. You can do the same thing. You can copy and paste, or you can just put your answers, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then just hit Submit that way. I don't mind for this assignment if you put it in the comments or if you put it in a Word doc, whatever is easiest for you, honestly. All right, so that's your first assignment, Chapter 1 assignment. That is due Sunday. Your next Chapter 1 assignment, you'll click Go to the assignment. It's going to open up into another page. It says like, hey, make sure you answer and complete sentences. It's a PDF. So here is the actual assignment. So I'm going to click on it and it's going to open up, well, rather it's going to download first and then open up into the assignment. So this is going to talk about the differences between high school and college. So it has this column of what is a typical high school experience. Now, obviously everyone's experience is a little different. And so it's okay if you didn't experience everything the same way, but this is like on average. How might that look different in college? And again, every class is going to vary, but overall, how might this be different? In high school, you're given frequent tests over small amounts of material. Study exams are provided, study guides are provided for exams. How might that be different in college? Studying for a test involves reviewing class notes or completing a study guide. How might that be different in college? And chapter 1 does talk a little bit about those differences between high school and college. So you can kind of use a combination of your personal experience as well as what the textbook says. When you are done, I'm just going to start typing. You want to make sure that I'm just going to go ahead and save changes. I'm going to, actually, you know what? I don't want to do it that way because I don't want to sign in. I'm just going to go to the little printer. And I'm going to, when I choose, I'm going to make sure it does PDF. I'm going to hit print, even though it's not technically printing, it's PDFing. And then on the desktop, I'll put chapter 1, high school versus college. Now, obviously, you would have to have this whole thing filled out. But once you're done, you have it all filled out, you've saved it. You're going to come back here and do the same thing I just told you about in the other assignment. Go to Add File, find it on your device. There it is. Hit Open. There we go. Hit Add, and then hit Submit. Don't forget to hit Submit, because I know sometimes people might be like, oh, add, I'm good to go. But you want to also hit Submit to make sure that it goes in there. All right. And I'm not submitting, obviously, because it's not going to let me, as I'm the instructor. Final assignment, chapter 1 quiz. You're going to click to go to the assignment. It's going to open up. Now, here is your quiz. All quizzes need to be answered in 2 to 5 complete sentences. So every quiz is 5 questions, so it's not terribly long, but they all need 2 to 5 complete sentences, and then you have to submit them. So let's go ahead and look. We're going to download it. It is a Microsoft Office Word doc. It's going to pop up. Here are the questions. Question 1. Good grief. Okay. Knowing why you're in college is an important factor in maintaining motivation, especially when you face adversity. What can you do to design a plan to remember your purpose for attending college? Excuse me. So in a summer semester in particular, things might get a little stressful very early on. How might you maintain your motivation? What kind of things are you going to do? Are you going to give yourself sticky notes, pep talks, have a support partner, whatever it might be that's going to help you remember your purpose? Question 2, you have had many transitions in your life. Think about it, from like elementary to middle to high school to college, from maybe single to married or parent to grandparent, whatever it might be. We all have different transitions. So that's what it means. Different role changes, different life experiences. Based on your previous experiences, how well have you managed those changes, have those transitions? What went well? What could you have done differently? And how can you use that knowledge to transition to college? Question 3, if your first few grades are lower than expected, what could you do to move forward? And remember to consider emotional, academic, and intellectual areas of adjustment. That is in chapter 1. So chapter 1 does talk about these different ways that we have to adjust as we become college students for the first time, or if we're returning to college after a while. And then question 4 goes along with one of the assignments we just talked about. There are differences between high school and college. Given what you know, how would you evaluate whether a student has successfully transitioned to college? What criteria would you use? How would you know that a student has done a nice job acclimating to the college environment? Look at their grades, look at their social awareness, their mental health, anything like that. How would you evaluate that? And then question 5 talks about self-awareness. Why do you think it's important to become self-aware? How will you use this material to support your development of greater self-awareness? Again, I know some of these questions are a little longer, they have multiple parts. Make sure you answer each part in 2 to 5 complete sentences. When you're done, just make sure you file save as, wherever you want to save it. Hit save. I'm not going to go ahead and do that now, but so you have it, and then you're going to go back in, just like we did with the other assignments, add a file, computer, find it somewhere. I'm just going to pretend that's it. Hit add. Oops. And then I'm not sure why it's not adding. There we go. And then hit submit. All right. Those are your assignments for week 1, in addition to those discussion forums. So if you have any questions, please let me know. Remember, we are all learning Brightspace together. If you have a minimal tech question, you are free to reach out to me. But if something is not working with your device, sometimes I will kind of give a warning that Chromebooks and MacBooks did not communicate well with Blackboard, our old system. Now, Brightspace, we are told that it's going to be easier for those students. But if you happen to have a device that you're just really struggling with, it's not compatible, please reach out to the help desk, because I have a lot of students online this summer, so I can't possibly know every device people are using and how to navigate those. So tech questions are best geared for our help desk. If you have content questions on the assignments, yes, please feel free to reach out to me. If you have any questions though, if you need the help desk number or if it's a simple tech question, you can also reach out to me. All right, I hope you all have a great week. Bye.